Alright, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be upgrading a Romanian PAK9. What is a PAK9? It's an AK derivative made in Romania and imported by Chiappa as an AK9 and later under the Charles Daly Defense brand name as the PAK9. PAK9 is an abbreviation for pistol and AK. It's pretty inexpensive as well, although I got a smoking deal on this one with about 100 rounds through it. When it was new, it went for about $4.99. In that price range, it'll compete against other 9mm personal defense weapons such as the X-Star EP9 or the Strybog SP9. First impressions are that the PAK9 is a pretty good looking gun. On its right side, it looks like a short, stubby AK with that long safety that we all recognize. Now there are a couple things I'm going to address on it. The handguard is just a bit out of proportion to be colored black. It almost looks out of place. A Magpul AK MOE grip is going to go on and help with the ergonomics. There are a couple of odd vertical Picatinny rails right behind the front sight, and I get that they may be used for flashlight or laser, but they are ugly and they're going to go. When you buy it in the box, you get the gun itself, two 10-round Beretta magazines, a manual, a sling that is too short to be useful, and a lock that no one's going to use. So how am I going to rectify this conflict in the way it looks? With some paint. I figure I'll soften up the gun and draw the eye out to something a little less distracting and more traditional. Here's the gun with a Magpul grip on it. It's a much better profile. It has more grip due to more aggressive texture, and it fills out the hand due to being a little bit thicker. By its stamping, you can see it was made in Romania, and Romania is where a lot of great AKs come from. Also, you'll notice that those odd Picatinny rails up front are gone. If you ask me, it looks much better already. But all in all, the PAK9 looks pretty good. Now when you pick it up, you notice it's a heavy piece of machinery at about 6 pounds. Most of its competitors weigh in about 4.5 pounds, so a pistol brace is going to go on and make shooting it a little bit more fun. Although I've turned the little grip stop around and try to use it as an angled foregrip, it's too small to be useful and that'll be replaced. When you open the dust cover, first thing you notice is that it's a hinge dust cover. It's reminiscent of the short AK crank-off carbines that we all love. Inside, you recognize that if you know how to take apart any AK, you know how to break down this PAK9. The main difference of this gun is that it is a blowback operated. There is no gas system or piston. Instead, it is replaced with a counterweight that guides the bolt back into its forward position. So let's paint it up. First, we have to remove the hand grip and the handguard. Between these two parts, you'll notice just how much real estate they take up on the gun's profile, about 40%. So let's whip out some Rust-Oleum spray paint, clear enamel, and assorted paint brushes from Home Depot. We'll hang up the parts from a tree, and we'll start with a couple of coats of cinnamon. To paint any gun, you'll need a color lighter than black so you can add black and brown tones, and they will be visible. Next, I'm going to use a brush to paint on some brown stain and some paint in a random fashion, all in the same direction. You cannot mess this up, so feel free to experiment. Paint the edges darker than the sides because that's how things age and wear naturally. Additionally, that'll give you a three-dimensional appearance. Once you get it where you like it, cover it in a clear coat protectant and let it dry for a couple of days. What's nice about this is both sides will be different and your gun will be unique. It is simple, effective, and if you don't like it, you can redo it later. I've added a Magpul angled forward grip and a cheap sight that was sitting in a box in my garage. When you get the parts back on the gun, you get to see the final product. In this case, the PAK9 looks much better, more classy, and less, gang member-ish. Alright, so today I got a package. It's the adapter I'll need to add on my SBA3 pistol brace. A little blue Loctite and the adapter is ready for the SBA3 brace. Now, the reveal. The PAK9 looks so much better now. The grip color is much better. It looks like it may be wood or maybe some dirty, well-used vintage Bakelite used on older AKs, but it doesn't look all black. You can actually see some of the design of the gun. You can see the lines of the handguard instead of blending it all into one big monument of black. Sometimes contrast is great, but none of this matters. The biggest question is, how does it shoot? All right. So shooting this gun, it's a short gun, but since it's so heavy, felt recoil is shockingly low. The SBA-3 is actually pretty comfortable. The fact that it's adjustable is also a big win. It allows you to collapse it all and fit it into a backpack. How's that for utility? All right, I'm shooting it, and apparently I see why I threw this sight in a box in the garage. This cheap garage salvage sight is flickering on and off, and I have to keep pressure on it for it to work. So we're gonna need a new sight eventually. The trigger is lighter than a standard AK trigger. Kinda soft actually. Now this gun operated flawlessly for my first couple boxes of brass and aluminum cased ammo. I have no doubt it'll shoot steel cased 9mm if you buy that in bulk, and I'm sure I will at some point. It'll shoot anything you put through it. It has definitely earned the right to call itself an AK. Now since it's so short, double taps get a bit wild on the second shot, but with a little bit of practice I think I'll bring those under control. I'm going to have to get used to having no last round bolt hold open, but AK people have been doing it since the late 1940s, so I should be able to get it. One of the unique items of the PAK9 is that with a magazine adapter, I can use my Glock magazines on this gun instead of the Beretta magazines. That adapter is in the mail on the way to my house as we speak. All in all, this PAK9 is a straight up fun gun. You feel like you're operating a raw machine. You still get the impression that it's a Cold War era communist block gun, even though it hit the market in around 2017. But it just wants to run. So far, this one has never had a jam. It just does what I need it to do. If you get a chance to snatch one up, do so in confidence. So, we went from a stock PAK9 to something far more useful and better looking. What do you think? Thank you for stopping by and watching the video. I'm out.